Welcome to our Notary Education series. Today, we delve into the critical aspects of the Notary Seal and signer identification, essential knowledge for every aspiring notary public. The Notary Seal is a fundamental tool, and it must be photographically reproducible when affixed to any document. It must contain the state seal and the words Notary Public clearly visible and legible. Additionally, the seal must include the notary public's name as shown on their commission and the name of the county where the oath and bond were filed. The expiration date of the notary public's commission is also a mandatory element to be included on the seal. Each seal must bear a sequential identification number, which is the commission number assigned to the notary public, and an identification number assigned by the seal manufacturer or vendor. Regarding its physical form, the seal must be circular, not exceeding 2 inches in diameter, or a rectangular form, not more than 1 inch in width by 2 1/2 inches in length, with a serrated or milled-edged border. Many documents that are acknowledged may later be recorded. A document may not be accepted by the recorder if the notary public seal is illegible. Notaries are cautioned to make sure that the notary public stamp leaves a clear impression, ensuring all elements are discernible. The seal should not be placed over signatures or any other printed matter on the document, as an improperly placed seal can result in rejection. The law allows a limited exception for subdivision maps, which may be notarized without an official seal if the material will not accept standard stamp pad ink. In such cases, the notary public's name, the county of their principal place of business, and the commission expiration date must be typed or printed below or immediately adjacent to the signature on the acknowledgement. It is crucial to remember that a notary public shall not use the official seal or the title Notary Public for any purpose other than rendering notarial service. Willfully failing to keep the notary public seal under direct and exclusive control, or willfully surrendering it to any person not authorized to possess it, constitutes a misdemeanor. When the notary public commission is no longer valid, the notary public seal must be destroyed to protect against possible fraudulent use by another. Now, let's move on to identification. When completing a certificate of acknowledgement or a jurat, a notary public is required to certify the identity of the signer of the document. Identity is established through satisfactory evidence, meaning the absence of any information, evidence, or other circumstances which would lead a reasonable person to doubt the individual's claim. Satisfactory evidence can be provided through identification documents, the oath of a single credible witness personally known to the notary, or the oaths of 2 credible witnesses. For identification documents, reasonable reliance can be placed on any form of identification, provided it is current or was issued within the last 5 years. These include an identification card or driver's license issued by the California Department of Motor Vehicles or a United States passport. Inmate identification cards from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation or a sheriff's department are also acceptable if the inmate is in custody. Other acceptable forms of identification, provided they contain a photograph, description, signature, and an identifying number, include a valid consular identification document or a valid passport from the applicant's country of citizenship. A driver's license issued by another state or by a Canadian or Mexican public agency, or an identification card issued by another state, are also valid. United States military identification cards, though current ones might not contain all required information, and employee identification cards issued by a California state, city, or county agency are also accepted. Finally, an identification card issued by a federally recognized tribal government is also a valid form of identification. When using identification documents, the notary public must include in their journal the type of identifying document, the governmental agency issuing it, the serial or identifying number, and the date of issue or expiration. The identity of the signer can also be established by the oath of a single credible witness whom the notary public personally knows. Under oath, the credible witness must affirm that the individual is the person named in the document, that they personally know the signer, and that the signer cannot obtain other identification. The witness must also confirm they have no financial interest and are not named in the document signed. The single credible witness must sign the notary public's journal, or the notary public must indicate in their journal the type of identifying document details of the witness. Finally, the identity of the signer can be established by the oaths of two credible witnesses whom the notary public does not personally know. The notary public must first establish the identities of these two witnesses using paper identification documents, as previously outlined. Under oath, these two credible witnesses must swear or affirm to the same conditions as a single credible witness. Similar to the single witness procedure, the credible witnesses must sign the notary public's journal, and the notary public must indicate in their journal the type of identifying documents, their numbers, and dates of issuance or expiration. Understanding these regulations regarding the notary seal and signer identification is paramount for maintaining the integrity and legality of notarial acts. Mastering these details will ensure your success as a notary public. Thank you for joining us in this educational segment. Welcome to our Notary Education Series, focusing on the Notary Public Journal and conflict of interest, crucial topics for your exam preparation. A notary public is required to maintain one active sequential journal for all acts performed, keeping it in a locked and secured area under their direct and exclusive control. The journal must include the date, time, and type of each official act, such as an acknowledgement or jurat. It also requires the character of every instrument sworn to, affirmed, acknowledged, or proved, like a deed of trust. Crucially, the signature of each person whose signature is being notarized must be recorded. The journal must also contain a statement confirming that the identity of the person was based on satisfactory evidence. If paper identification was used, the journal needs to detail the type of document, the issuing governmental agency, its serial or identifying number, and the date of issue or expiration. For a single credible witness, the journal must include their signature or identifying document details, including the agency, serial number, and issue or expiration date. When two credible witnesses are used, their signatures and the identifying document details for each must be recorded. The fee charged for the notarial service must be noted, with any travel fees identified separately. For documents affecting real property or a power of attorney, the notary public must require the party signing to place their right thumbprint in the journal. If the right thumbprint is unavailable, the left thumb or any available finger should be used, with an indication and explanation in the journal if physically unable to provide one. If your sequential journal is stolen, lost, misplaced, destroyed, or rendered unusable, you must immediately notify the Secretary of State. This notification must be sent by certified or registered mail or any other physical delivery method that provides a receipt. The notification needs to include the periods of journal entries, your commission number, the commission expiration date, and a photocopy of the police report if applicable. A notary public must respond within 15 business days to a written request from any member of the public for a copy of a transaction. You should provide either a photostatic copy of a line item from the journal or an acknowledgement that no such line item exists. The request must specify the names of the parties, the type of document, and the month and year it was notarized. The cost for providing this information cannot exceed 30 cents per page. The sequential journal is the exclusive property of the notary public and should not be surrendered to an employer upon termination of employment, regardless of who paid for it. Willfully failing to properly maintain the notary public's journal is considered a misdemeanor. Within 30 days of your commission no longer being valid, you must deliver all notarial journals, records, and papers to the county clerk's office where your oath was filed. Failure to do so is a misdemeanor, and you will be personally liable for damages to any injured person. Any notarial journals, records, and papers delivered to the Secretary of State will be returned to the sender. Now, let's discuss conflicts of interest. A notary public can notarize documents for relatives or others, unless doing so provides a direct financial or beneficial interest. Given California's community property law, exercise caution when notarizing for a spouse or domestic partner. A direct financial interest exists if you are named individually as a principal in a financial transaction. It also applies if you are named individually as a beneficiary, grantor, grantee, mortgager, mortgagee, trustor, trustee, vendor, vendee, lessor, or lessee in a real property transaction. However, you would not have a direct financial interest if acting as an agent, employee, insurer, attorney, escrow holder, or lender for someone with a direct financial interest. If you are ever in doubt about whether to notarize, always seek the advice of an attorney. The Certificate of Acknowledgement is the most frequently completed form, and it must adhere to the Civil Code Section 1189. In this certificate, you certify that the signer personally appeared before you on the indicated date and county. You also certify the identity of the signer and that they acknowledged executing the document. The journal must state that the identity of the person making the acknowledgement was based on satisfactory evidence. If identity was established by a credible witness, the journal must contain their signature or identifying document details. For two credible witnesses, their signatures and identifying document details must be recorded. The Certificate of Acknowledgement must be fully completed when your signature and seal are affixed, and it is executed under penalty of perjury. Understanding these regulations is vital for your success as a notary public. Good luck with your exam.